Hi, welcome to Gathering Paradise. My name's Jenny O'Neill. This poem is called Song for a Lady. It's by Sexton. She was bisexual and writing poems in the late 1950s, publishing her books during this time period where she was a Massachusetts housewife. So the fact that she's writing about a sexual experience with a woman is so transgressive and so brave and so also beautiful and erotic the way she writes about it. So it's good to keep in mind the context. I think this is a beautiful poem today in our current, much more open and accepting world for those who are not straight. But she had the guts to put this out there decades ago. That's amazing. Also, shout out to whoever this lady is. I would be so flattered if I was like the first lady poem she wrote. I have a historical crush on Anne Sexton. It's true. So, okay, let's do a little transgressive naughtiness, shall we? Song for a lady. I feel like I sounded too like smooth. Okay, so we're gonna go back to Anne. Song for a lady. On the day of breasts and small hips, the window pocked with bad rain coming on like a minister, we coupled, so sane and insane. We lay like spoons while the sinister rain dropped like flies on our lips and our glad eyes and our small hips. The room is so cold with rain, you said, and you, feminine you, with your flower, said novenas to my ankles and elbows. You are a national product and power. Oh, my swan, my drudge, my dear woolly rose. Even a notary would notarize our bed. As you need me, and I rise like bread. Is that not brilliant and beautiful and so sexy and so brave? So brave, my God, to admit these feelings. And there's such a, it's not even tongue-in-cheek, right? She's pointing to the fact that it was seen as obscene, as sinful, as something that legally you could be punished for. Mothers' rights were taken away if they were found out to be lesbians. They couldn't have custody of their children at this time. Like, this is not a world that is open to this poem. There's no rainbow flag that exists. No color, okay? So she's saying all this, and that's why the last line is such a slam dunk. It's just like, even a notary, like a notary is something you have to bring in when something legal has to happen. So a person who has to notarize that this money has been transferred, this title to this car, this whatever, all the things notaries do. Sorry, notaries. Anyway, even a notary would notarize our bed. And with notarize, you also, in this context, there's getting a slight pun and play on the word notorious here. So even a notary would notarize our bed as you knead, K-N-E-A-D, like dough. So as you knead me and I rise like bread. And so think about that. And so you're kneading dough. And these are kind of typical things that a housewife might find herself doing. Baking. And also the image of rising bread. I won't go into the implications right now of my dear woolly rose, but you could notarize it if you wanted. And I just love how she's giving it up to her lover. Like she announces, you are a national product and power. Like you could power the universe. Like this, they had a good time on this day. I think another point that which should be noted, a little extra teacher time, is within the third line, she's bringing up a minister. The rain is coming on. It's a bad rain, right? And it's coming on like a minister. You get this sort of idea of a very angry, shouty, hellfire and brimstone minister. And you get the fear there. Her lover is mentioning that the room is cold with rain. She's giving them an excuse to get closer together when you were not allowed to touch another person of the same gender in any kind of sexual way. It's a reason, it's an excuse to spoon. And I love here too, I think it should be noted, oh my swan, this gorgeous creature, right? My drudge. That's very different. That is the pull of society, the feeling of, oh, I can't dredge this up. I can't, it has negativity in there, right? Oh, my swan, my drudge, my dear woolly rose. And then whether or not, the fact that she's ambivalent about this woman, clearly she is. She's in a culture that's telling her this is like degenerate, criminal behavior. But even after that, so she's a swan, she's also a burden and something that could get her in trouble, right? But it doesn't even matter. She just dares trouble to come to her. Let the law come here. Even a notary would notarize our bed, but I don't care because the lovemaking is that good. And also, let's just give a shout out again to how many slam, truck, and dunks can Sexton do with her rhymes and her sensuality. So I think it's so unabashed. It's not didactic, it's not preachy. It's letting an audience into a scene that they would never be allowed to see. Something very transgressive, but handling it in such a personal way. She's writing in the same way as you would write to a straight lover, but there is this broad, mouthy kind of right underneath it wink at, I don't care if you think this is smutty. I don't care if you think it's dirty. Like, I don't give a truck. I'm gonna write a poem about how good it was to truck her. Like, that's the tone of this poem. The tone of this poem is like, what do you want to say? Just the sort of truck off if you don't like it. Because I'm in heaven.